I believe I'm the right person for this job because I'm very feminine for this role. My feminineness, feminine sexuality, feminine personality will add value to this feminine role in the most feminine way possible.
Stop getting the wrong advice. Ensure you get the right skills for the right job for jobs in the Middle East. Contact Loy Machedo.
Hi there, Loy Machedo. Speaking to you from loymachedo.com, who's Loy Machedo and Think Personal Branding. I thought I'll just make this video before I go to sleep. I'm actually tired, but I thought I'd give you this update. Timestamps will be put down below. Just check which topic you want to hear. Okay, so let's start off with the explosion first. The explosion that took place in KFC and Hardee's. Now, the thing is, it's a straightforward explosion that took place, okay? But what has been happening is in my WhatsApp groups and my Facebook groups, and private messages that I've received, the number of conspiracy theories and rumors are floating around, which are a bit too far-fetched. Some people are saying, the reason why the helicopter was flying at the top is because they were actually searching for terrorists. Then some other people are saying KFC and Hardee's has a very high safety level. Some other people are saying, no, this was a planned explosion because Israel was coming. And some others are like, oh, why is it exactly during the time of Trump making the peace and Israel, those officials coming. Some other people went, it's because, that particular street is near the airport and all that. So, see, listen, guys, the fact of the matter is this. People do not like a straightforward explanation to something. There's always a deeper meaning into something which people are searching for. Like, what is the meaning of life? Why did God make you? Are we just born and made this way? There should be a deeper meaning to this. There is a deeper force. There's a more powerful force. There's an invisible force. So a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of people like to feel that there is something deeper than a straightforward, like it just happened. So I'm not saying that there is no possibility that there could be a sabotage or could be, bombing and this and that. But for this particular example of what happened in Abu Dhabi is, it's a bit too far-fetched to say that this was an act of terrorism or this was because Israel officials and U.S. officials are landing. Listen, man, for something to take place at that level, you would really need to have the resources to ensure that you do not get caught. The very fact that Israel's plane was flying to UAE from Saudi, they were equipped with some of the best technology. And don't think that they just made the plan just 2-3 days in advance. They made this plan months before. And the only thing that you need to keep in mind, the only coincidence is the fact that this is all happening during the election phase, okay? During Trump's election phase. This is all a planned agenda for the elections. Just as during the elections, you'll hear the worst of the worst news. You'll hear the worst things happening. It's like as if every news that you listen is either someone is getting murdered or there are guns or US is in war and it's at the worst situation it has ever been. In fact, get mentally prepared to hear really horrible things about Biden, really horrible things about Donald Trump, really horrible things about Democrats and Republicans. You'll not hear any normal news. You'll hear everything to the extreme, to such an extreme where you'll begin to wonder, like, man, the end of the world is going to take place, the Third World War. This is only because the election, it's the election season. And during the election season, you'll hear all these stories. That is why. Why do you think it's only during election time do you hear he had an affair 20 years ago? She has come out of the closet after 40 years to say that somebody was fingering her bum. Okay, you'll hear this only during the election time. Whether it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's Bill Clinton, whether it's Obama's certificates or whatever. Okay, so just relax the fuck out. It's election time, and this is part and parcel of the election phase. In fact, just go to New York. New York Times, the YouTube channel. Have a look at. They give you a short form version or summary of Joe Biden's speech, and they also give you the short form summary of Donald Trump's speech. Listen to both the narratives. When they give the short form of or the highlights of Joe Biden's speech, it's only positive stuff. But when they give the summary of Donald Trump's speech, it's only negative stuff. So keep in mind, whether you're listening to Fox News, whether you're listening to CNN, whether you're listening to New York Times, whether you're listening to Al Jazeera, every newspaper, every media has its own narrative, has its own instructions to follow. So just relax. Now, with regards to the explosion that took place, it is just a bloody explosion. That's about it. And let's keep it down to that. Don't mix up so many things unless and until there is evidence. Okay, without evidence, there is so many things can happen. Without evidence, there is a sky god, there are multiple gods, there are magical things happening, there are miracles happening without evidence. Okay, it's just matter of faith. So if you want to take in terms of faith, yes, this was an act of terrorism. The helicopters were flying because terrorists were there. It was planned just like a Hollywood movie, like a James Bond kind of this thing, Jason Bourne kind of a thing. But otherwise, it's all normal, mundane, just a stupid, silly explosion. Okay, that's all it is. So relax. The other thing which I want to tell you is the job market. I told you this 2 years ago, and now it's actually happening because I've been speaking to so many of these decision makers and forwarding their CVs. They are looking for people with experience. They are not looking for freshers. They're just tired of freshers. The reason being is when you employ a fresher, you have to train the person. The person works for you at your expense, on your time, on your experience, on your expertise. And after 1 to 2 years, they leave and search for another job. So that is why today they'll only take the best of the best, people with experience and people who can really carry the company on their shoulders as a ambassador, as a brand, as a representative. They prefer people, they don't mind paying them 20% more, but they would rather pay someone who has experience in the UAE market, who's there in UAE, rather than getting a fresher who would just come from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and is a liability. So this is actually happening, and well, I'm not giving you news that I heard. I'm telling you stuff from decision makers who are speaking to me and people whom I'm actually guiding and placing. Okay. The next one that I want to give you a news is please be careful of the COVID-19 crisis that's taking place, both in terms of the financial impact and in terms of the physical health related impact. I'm not saying that you're going to die, okay, but you will get sick. And when you do get sick, it's a really, really terrible, terrible phase. You're talking of 2 weeks to nearly a month that you will have a miserable time. It's not only you, it's your entire family. So please don't go for these pool parties. Don't go for this, I'm invincible, nothing's going to fucking happen to me. Someone in your family will get sick and then it's going to really hurt. Okay, so please, for the sake of your health and for your family, just avoid going out, avoid interacting, avoid mixing. Follow the rules. Just don't reinvent the wheel. Please follow the rules. Don't say this is a conspiracy, this is infringing on my rights. Yeah, you have to keep in mind that there are people who get sick. If it's a conspiracy theory, yes, it would have been one, let's say a state or a group or a country, not all the countries in the world. Just think about it for a minute that all the countries in the world are hurting right now because nobody is traveling. There is no business. And when people lose their livelihood, it is, the country that suffers. The richest of the rich are not going to carry the shoulder, carry the weight of the country on the shoulders. It's the entire population. So if you have a family of 20 people and only one is successful, that doesn't mean the entire family is going to be happy. So please keep this in mind and please be careful of the COVID crisis. In terms of the the news that I spoke to you about, the company losing millions, I finally got confirmation from the employees and ex-employees of the company. The company's name is, wait, let me give it to you 1 minute. Okay. The company's name is Prisma Switchgear, Prisma dash Switchgear. So the website is prismauae.com. Okay, Prisma. And this was given unofficially from an ex-employee of Prisma. Now, you don't, like I always tell you, don't take my word for it. Please do your own research. Maybe someone gave me the wrong information, and maybe I'm just telling you something that's wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Please put down in the comment section below that if I'm wrong, I will apologize and I will tell you that I made a mistake. But as of now, a person who was the ex-employee of Prisma has contacted me and confirmed the following. And this is what he has said. I've written down my notes. I'm reading it as I put this. It seems that the company used to make over 10 million in terms of a turnover, that is unofficial figures, during its peak period. Most of its projects were either Qatar or it was outside UAE. And it seems that one of the other major big projects which they bid for was NMC, B.R. Shetty's company. And they happened to get both Qatar as well as NMC. Qatar was their main market, but after the close down took place between UAE and Qatar, they lost a huge chunk of their business. And with NMC, NMC, they delivered the project, but then, NMC collapsed. And that was the final nail in the coffin. It seems that employees have not been paid from 6 months to 1 year. Employees have not been paid from 6 months to a year. And around 3 months ago, it seems the owner went to India, went to India for a business trip and said that he would bring in more money or something. Later on, the family left along with him. And now it's just being run by the staff and it's running on default, just as, it's just running automatic. Most of the staff, during the peak, there were 40 people, more than 40, but now it seems they're just skeleton staff and salaries are not being paid. Renewal, the company renewal is in a big question, whether they will renew it or not. In fact, it seems that they have had facilities from a couple of banks, and the bankers happen to call me and speak to me about this. So there is a little bit of concern. This is same exactly like the history of other switchgear companies that were there, but today they are no longer there, or they are suffering, or they're having a really, really tough time. So one other electromechanical company that was doing projects for Emal that didn't pay its salaries for 2 years, they did not pay for 2 years, was Spark Electromechanical, that shut down a couple of years ago. I know this because I used to go to the company, I used to meet the owner. So they didn't pay salaries for 2 years. Okay, and they just shut down and the owner ran away. You had companies like this one, Prisma Switchgear. You also have, I don't know whether this company is still in existence, Bloden, or something like that. I don't, and I even heard about this company, Lina Switchgear, is going through a tough time. Not too sure how far that's true, but overall it seems most of the switchgear companies are going through a very, very tough time. On the plus side, it is the only positive spin to this is if Prisma shuts down, its customers and clients need service. So obviously the other companies will, they will be very happy. They'll jump on them like vultures because they're anyway dying for business. So if suppose there were 10 switchgear companies, now there are only 5. So, the business of the 5 that are shut down will come to these people. So this is the only positive spin to the story. But if there is anyone from Prisma Switchgear who can correct my story and tell me that, yes, what I'm saying is wrong, or if there's anyone who can prove it to me that what I've said is false, I am ready to apologize and tell you that I was wrong. But like I said, the ex-employee of Prisma Switchgear has shared this information with me, and he wishes to remain anonymous. So, like I'm saying, like I always tell you, please be careful. Careful of any information that you get. Please verify the information that you receive, and make sure that you're guided properly. So, if any one of you is in touch with Prisma Switchgear and knows the real story to this company, I don't wish them anything bad. I really genuinely wish them good. But it seems the owner has run away, and owner and his family, they have left their villa, they have left their house, they have left their cars, they have left everything. And even some of the banks that had lent them money, given them facility, it seems some of the employees, they just spoke to me and told me that they are deeply concerned about this. Well, if a person runs away to India, if it is true, then the money is gone. Just as B.R. Shetty, nobody could touch him, nobody can do anything to him. In the same way, all these business people, the reason why they run is not because they are evil. It's not because they are bad. The problem in UAE or the Middle East is if you have money that is pending, it's a jailable offense. You get jailed, and you have to spend the rest of your life in jail until you pay. And I personally know people who have been in jail there's no hope for them to come out. In fact, I even know of a case where a person has been 33 years in jail just because of a defaulted payment. So this is the story of what life is in the Middle East. Like I've told you, there are jobs, there are new job openings for experienced people, for people who are the best. They don't mind paying you even 20% higher than what they were paying previously. They'll take a fewer employees. They will remove the ones who are non-performers and who are new, and they prefer to keep experienced staff. So please apply. I hope you get the jobs, and I really genuinely wish you get this opportunity, because many of you have families, many of you have expenses, and you know for a fact it's not going to be a cakewalk if you go back to your home country. And especially if you have a bank loan and you have expenses to pay, you need to verify that first. So this is the update that I have for you. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. I am very open to corrections, and this is what I wanted to share with you. Please do let me know your thoughts. This is me signing off. Take care.
I believe I'm the right person for this job because I'm very feminine for this role. My feminineness, feminine sexuality, feminine personality will add value to this feminine role in the most feminine way possible.
Stop getting the wrong advice. Ensure you get the right skills for the right job for jobs in the Middle East. Contact Loy Machedo.